Okay, good morning. Good morning. I call the March 12th, 2024 meeting of the DuPage County Board to order. I invite everyone to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Member Covert, will you please lead the pledge? The United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As I invite Reverend Avante Christian from New Hope Methodist Church of West Chicago to lead us in the invocation, I want to note that Ramadan began Sunday. In observance, members of the Muslim faith are fasting and praying for a month. We extend our greetings and good wishes to them during this time. Reverend, please proceed.
Let us pray. Holy One, known by many names and beyond our names, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit of Ramadan, Spirit of Holy Spirit, Spirit of Easter, Spirit of many others who wants to know and do good and no harm to you. And Lord, we dedicate our lives, our work to you. Whatever we do, let it be that it may be to glorify your name, to bring your wisdom, your love, and mercy with justice here. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Deputy Clerk, please take the roll.
Cahill. Here. Chaplin.
Here.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert.
Here.
Desart. Here. Eckhoff. Here. Evans.
Here.
Galassi. Garcia.
Here.
Guston. Here. Krajewski. Here. LaPlante. Ozog. Here. Rutledge. Here. Schwarzy. Here. Tornatori. Here. You.
Here.
And Zay.
Okay. Today we celebrate Women's History Month. Today we recognize member Lynn LaPlante and our guest, Glenette Tilly Turner, are on Zoom. I'm looking to see, can we pull them up? There they are. Okay. Today we recognize Women's History Month in DuPage County by honoring one of our best known historians, Glenette Tilly Turner. There we go. Mrs. Turner's selection to receive this month's proclamation is even more appropriate as the theme for Women's History Month in 2024 is women who advocate for equity, diversity, and inclusion. Mrs. Turner has spent decades researching, writing, and lecturing about the contributions and history of African Americans in our county and region. She is the foremost expert on the Underground Railroad in DuPage County. She has published several books, including children's books, which bring history to life. Mrs. Turner has graciously agreed to accept our proclamation via Zoom, and her longtime fan, board member Lynn LaPlante, is with Mrs. Turner to represent the board for presentation. I'll read our proclamation here, and then Lynn, please do the honors with Mrs. Turner. Whereas, women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation. Whereas women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas the theme for this year's Women's History Month is women who advocate for equity, diversity, and inclusion, honoring women who work for fairness and justice in their communities, families, and social interactions. Whereas in DuPage County, we recognize historian and educator Glenette Tilly Turner, who has dedicated her life to researching, documenting, and educating people about the activities of abolitionists in DuPage County who secured safe passage for enslaved people via the Underground Railroad. And whereas Mrs. Turner has also written collectives of biographies of notable African Americans, and she serves as an advisor to the National Park Service, where she helps to plan programs for the National Historic Underground Railroad trail work, and is a recipient of the Studs Terkel Humanitarian Award, the Alice Browning Award from the International Black Writers Conference, and she is a member of numerous historical organizations. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Deborah A. Conroy, Chair of the DuPage County Board, and members of the County Board do hereby designate March as Women's History Month and honor historian and history maker Glenette Tilly Turner, whose body of work amplifies and celebrates our diverse heritage, shining a welcoming light on the stories and many contributions of African Americans in DuPage County, in our state, and our nation. Second, all in favor? Okay, I'll turn it over to you, Lynn. And hello, Mrs. Turner. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Here is your beautiful proclamation.
Oh, thank you.
Evan. There we are.
Thank you. Oh,
Here you
that's
are.
lovely.
It's lovely. Just for you. Thank you on
Thank you.
behalf of the county board
Thank
for
you.
all you have done to inspire women and to be a beautiful example
Thank you.
to all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And I would like to say thank you to Chairman Conroy and to the DuPage County Board. I just appreciate this very much. Being the recipient of the Women's History Month proclamation is especially meaningful to me. To quote my mother, it is singular, as she would say, that women who advocate for equality, inclusion, and diversity is the theme this year. Our family moved to DuPage County soon after Wheaton Mayor Margaret Hamilton had worked with the local NAACP and passed the first open housing ordinance in Illinois and one of the first in the United States. Being the daughter of the first executive director of Dr. Martin Luther King's SCLC, and knowing how important fair housing was to Dr. King, I was aware of how far-ranging and significant this ordinance was, and proud to become a resident of the city and county that had set a moral example for the nation. A new neighbor made a chance remark. She claimed that Wheaton had been part of the Underground Railroad. I had always been fascinated by the Underground Railroad, but always thought it had operated in states east of Illinois. However, my neighbor's remarks made it set me on a lifelong quest to learn more about that pre-Civil War period in which Black and white Underground Railroad workers helped make freedom a reality. And much of that history happened here in many towns in DuPage County and along local waterways, old highways, and what is now the Metro line. Although it was the Underground Railroad that whetted my interest in local history, over the years, I have learned other little-known details, such as the fact that in 1905, a formerly enslaved man named Cad Lewis Sublett established the Sublett Disposal Company, which provided vital sanitation to Wheaton homes and businesses for over 50 years. And two of Mr. Sublett's sisters-in-law, Thelma Dryden and Velma Edwards, belonged to the Progressive Women's Club, which gave events like teas and ice cream socials to raise large sums of money toward the building of Central DuPage Hospital. Knowing of this diverse local history not only gives me a meaningful sense of place, I think it enriches all of our lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Turner. Thank you. Here you are.
Thank you, Mrs. Tilley, for being an inspiration for all women. Now we're going to move on to a solar project donation, and I would like to invite Member Rutledge Ann Boyce Clare and Jeff Jens to the podium. Okay, this is very exciting. We are lucky to have here with us today two very generous DuPage County environmentalists who are putting their energy and resources towards preserving and improving the health of our planet. They have been donors for more than 18 projects across the nation, including a solar power installation here on our county campus. Ann Boyce Clare and Jeff Jens inspired the installation of a 164 kilowatt solar panel system on this building. They have also contributed 2 solar projects at the Forest Preserve District and the solar awning in Yorkville. Their total contributions have led to a reduction of at least 750 metric tons of carbon dioxide, which could power 96 homes for 1 year. Environmental Committee Chair Sheila Rutledge first introduced Ann and Jeff to our county and was able to channel their desire to protect the environment into this project. Sheila, why don't you tell us a little more?
Thank you, Chair. Thanks, everybody. So this all started when I attended the Willowbrook Forest Preserve's property when they unveiled their solar panels at the Willowbrook Wildlife Center. And I'll be honest, I attended that event hoping that they would extend their generosity to the county as well. And I was pleased to hear that they were willing to extend their offer to support solar electricity production here on our campus. I learned that the timing was ideal as we had just resurfaced the roof here and this project needed a push. I talked with Nick and Tim, who had the facilities management team do some research and run some numbers. And as it turns out, with the cost of the solar panels going down, the generous donation from Ann and Jeff, ComEd rebates, state and federal government incentives, and the return on investment was reduced to just 9 years on the system that is expected to reliably last for 30 years. After that 9-year payback, the county will be saving over $16,000 a year on electricity costs just from this array. So by adding our second solar array, we continue to reduce our carbon footprint in the energy sector. It is my hope that every roof here will be covered with solar within the next decade, like dandelions in the spring. Let's just let them spread. Ann and Jeff, thank you for inspiring this project. Would you like to say a few words?
Well, not a few words yet. I'm a former English major, so bear with me. Now I've got to get the old glasses on. I can't see anything out there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now listen. It's a great pleasure to be with all of you today, commemorating the solar installation atop the Conifer Administration Building. It's a marvelous achievement, a credit to our county and to its government. First off, we'll explain a bit of who we are. We are longtime Glen Ellen residents. I was born and raised in Glen Ellen and came from Denver in 1962. We both attended Glenbard West, and we met while attending an orientation meeting for the summer driver ed program at Glenbard West. Very romantic place to meet anyone. We are people who, over the years, have grown more and more concerned about global warming and its devastating effects. In 2017, after the United States had pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord, we decided we had to do something concrete about the growing crisis. To us, if humanity loses the fight to contain global warming, all life on Earth will suffer dramatically. We have been fortunate over the years, and we wanted to use some of that good fortune on doing what we could to contain the mounting crisis. We eventually settled on the idea of providing funds to help nonprofits and governmental entities install solar arrays on their properties. Initially, it was a real seat of the pants effort. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, and we felt our way along and slowly began to understand what we could do to help move things along, not paying for everything, but assisting, giving a push to a project. Solar installations can be put up almost anywhere. They significantly reduce the organization's carbon footprint. They do not kill birds. They are quiet. They last a long time, and they are getting more and more efficient and less expensive with each passing year. To top it off, they are incredibly good investments, paying for themselves in a relatively short time. This will be 9 years. Can't beat that. And the county will soon find out just how great a deal there you have got. As I said, our donations are meant to give a slight push, a nudge, and to those entities that are sort of leaning towards something, but they're not really sure. But that we then found over the years that that slight push works. And it has worked now many times, and we're very pleased that it has. Over the past 6 years, we have had our share of successes and failures, satisfying successes, and big-time setbacks. We have partnered, by the end of 2024, we will have been involved with at least 18 completed solar projects, which will create approximately 1,100,000 kilowatts per year. We have partnered with our undergraduate alma maters, Denison University in Ohio and Colorado College in Colorado. You got it. There we go. We've also worked with the DuPage County Forest Preserve on the Willowbrook Wildlife Center project and the Fleet Management project. We've worked with the College of DuPage and churches in New Hampshire, Indiana, Colorado, and Illinois, especially, interestingly enough, the city of Champaign. DuPage County is also part of that group. We're so pleased to have worked with them. Through it all, we've been honored and privileged to work with many dedicated people like those with whom we have worked here, who share our concern for the fate of the world. We'll go on fighting this battle as long as we can. We've learned many things during this time. In particular, we've learned how strong, committed, and resilient all our partners are. Getting a solar array up on a roof, no matter what the size, is no easy task. In fact, it's a really hard one, especially in recent years, as COVID and its many complications have made so many things so much more difficult. The obstacles are many, far too many to recite here. An example of COVID's effect on the installation of solar arrays can be seen in our work with Denison University. In 2018, we supported a project that was conceived of and completed in 5 months. 2.5 years later, about 2.5 years later, we contacted them again and said, we'd like to do another project with you. And they said, well, great, we'll work with something out with our library, our school's library. Now, 2.5 years later, there's no array atop the library, and there's no indication of when the project will be completed. There are all sorts of obstacles keeping it from happening, and a lot of it does relate to COVID. Quite simply, it takes great determination, patience, perseverance, and a lot of other things to see a solar project through to its completion. Our respect for those organizations that bring solar power to their buildings is boundless. They are indeed special entities. Now, regarding this solar project that brings us here today, we can safely say it has been one of our great favorites. Right. For us, the Conifer Administration Building Solar Project actually began on September 18th, 2021 at about 11 a.m. We can't usually do that with most projects, but I can in this case. Prior to that day, working with the county on a solar project was not on our radar. The county structure seemed way, way too big for us. And we didn't know anyone here who might provide us some guidance as to how to connect with the county. That all changed at the solar celebration that has been already previously discussed at the DuPage County Forest Preserve's Willowbrook Wildlife Center on that warm and sunny September day. After the celebration, I had a pleasant chat with board member Sheila Rutledge. How about that? Little did I know I was a dupe being set up for something, but that's okay. After the celebration, we had and I'd never met her before, and it was a great pleasure in talking to her. If that conversation had not occurred, it's likely that we would not be here today. We may have eventually gotten in touch with the county, but that would have been a long time off. It's interesting, isn't it, that seemingly small things like a brief conversation can lead to really big things and really good things. The fact that Sheila was interested enough in solar energy to attend the gathering was important to us. Later, we found out that she was the chair of the Environmental Committee, and we decided we would take the plunge and send a proposal in. We were uncertain that anything would work out, but we had to try nonetheless. Shortly thereafter, we received a gracious and encouraging letter from Sheila saying that they would look into it. A month or two later, she informed us that the staff had determined that at least 5 sites on the county property could serve as locations for a solar installation. 5 sites, we gasped. We've had trouble finding partners with one suitable site. Almost 2 years ago to this day, on a cold gray afternoon in March 2022, we entered this massive administration building, still feeling a bit overmatched. We met with Sheila, Nick Kottmeyer, Joy Hins, Jeff Madison, and Tim Harbaugh to discuss our proposal. We later met Ian Johnstone. The warmth of their greeting is something we will always fondly remember. They were clearly excited about a solar project and ready to go, as were we. Unlike most of our other partners, they wanted us involved in the process and would prove true to their word. After that very productive meeting, they took us to view the roof on which a solar array could be placed. We couldn't believe our eyes. It looked like a football field where you could put hundreds and hundreds of solar panels. After the meeting, when we were departing, we knew that an important solar installation would result from the collective effort to come. Over the time that has elapsed since that initial meeting, we have been greatly impressed by the enthusiasm, abilities, and professionalism of Sheila, Nick, Joy, Jeff, Tim, and Ian. Further, and very importantly, the board's openness to and support of this project has been most encouraging and appreciated. It is a great pleasure to celebrate with you this wonderful achievement of our county's government, which has taken a greatly needed, and I mean greatly needed, leadership role in addressing the pressing need to move forward to a fossil-free future. This is truly an impressive accomplishment, one which benefits everyone in DuPage County. Quite simply for us, this solar array, which will put out huge amounts of clean energy over the years, is a glowing example, pun intended, glowing example of government at its very best. Our heartiest congratulations to everyone involved. Thank you.
It falls to me and Voice Claire to give you the advertisement. Jeff and I are always interested in hearing about people's hopes for more projects. If you know of a not-for-profit or another governmental entity that might have an interest, we would love to hear about it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, before we move on to public comment, I would like to publicly thank Member Rutledge for her continuous passion and advocacy for the environment on behalf of DuPage County. Clearly, you can see that she goes above and beyond. Okay, on to public comment. According to our county board rules, members of the public shall be afforded time to address the board. Individual remarks shall not exceed 3 minutes in length, nor the total time provided for all remarks exceed 30 minutes. Our state's attorney will call the names of those who have signed up to speak.
Karen Rugg.
I keep on having repeated problems in Itasca, Illinois, and in DuPage County. It seems like trouble never stops. July 1st of 23, my neighbor's tree came down in my yard. I came here in 2018 and reported to you that I got a notice from Itasca that I would have to appear in court and be prosecuted 18th District Court if I didn't clean up my tree. It wasn't my tree. It was never my tree. It's happened again, but this time it fell on my property. I thought I'd play a board meeting in Itasca with Carrie Ann Ergo. I don't know if any of you know her, but she's the administrator now.
Fallen these two parties to resolve how they get the branch off the.
Thank you, Carrie Ann.
Thank you.
You can't hear it.
Is there anyone else, Deanne, for public comment?
Well, people should respect their citizens, people that have been on the land for 77 years paying taxes to you in the city of Itasca, and you keep on bullying the elderly in your community. You do it every single time, and it never, ever stops.
Tom Bukovich.
Hi, my question to you is about the senior tax freeze. Now, inflation rates have gone up over 20% in the last 2.5 years. It's still stuck at $65,000 at the threshold. With the increases I have on Social Security and my wife's, I am now over the threshold by $2,000. I can't afford to stay in this county, much less the state, the way this goes. I'm asking you to please raise the threshold to $75,000. This can't be afforded anymore. These rates were set, what, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Isn't it time? That's all I've really got to say. I mean, I've just asked the board, please take this into consideration. We can't afford it. You're taxing out the elderly. And I served my country as a Marine. And I got to leave the state because I can't afford it anymore. I truly wish that you would do this. Thank you.
Rabbi Michael Ben Yosef.
My name is Rabbi Michael Ben Yosef, human rights activist here in Chicago. Greetings to the board, to Conway, and to the citizens of this community. I'm here and pleased to be here, but I'm here with a heavy heart. A tragedy has impacted a family and a community on February 3rd. Did any of you all see the video of Isaac Gillow murdered that was released? Did you all feel a sense of empathy for a grieving family? Did you all hear the false statements that the Carroll Stream Police Department released that does not support the video in general? The police said they entered a tense, involving an uncertain situation. That was severely false. It was a false statement. The only ones that was guilty as charged for bringing a tense and involving situation was the Carroll Stream Police. Isaac was asleep. The Carroll Stream Police decided to take matters into their own hands, to abuse their power. They were the judge, the jury, and the executioner. We demand that the unedited body cam released to the public. We need the names of the officers released. We need the 911 audio released. We need all involved held accountable. This is a cover-up. Until our demands are met, there will be protest. There will be civil disobedience. I heard earlier someone say justice for all. If that statement is true, then this board should have no problem to be an ally with this family. To be an ally with this family means you will stand with them to advocate before DuPage County State's Attorney, Mr. Berlin, and bring criminal charges immediately. That's what you all can do. As I close, may justice be served swiftly and soon. This is my hope, and this is my prayer. Amen.
Jasmine Smith. Jasmine Smith. Lavola Williams.
Good morning, everyone. I just want you all to see Isaac's face. You can't imagine the pain that we're going through. His mom had to leave. She was with us, but she told me this morning she didn't go to bed till 6 o'clock. She's not getting any sleep. She's still living in the community where her son was slain. I would like to speak to the board members and to everyone here. If we could just step into our shoes, but not really step into our shoes. All of the stuff that was released in the media, it was all propaganda. It wasn't true. I've seen these things happen from afar. Never did I think it would be at my doorstep for my cousin. Never did I think that it was really this hard to get justice. You know, you think it, but you still have some type of hope. I'm reminded of my criminal justice class when my professor was a CPS officer, superintendent. He said, you go on and you're gonna do great things. And I'm like, will I do great things? He said, oh, you're gonna do great things. But I was thinking that I was just gonna be able to stand and help fight for justice, for those who were disenfranchised, marginalized, those who were wrongfully treated. But I didn't think that we would be here. Isaac's life was cut down February the 3rd. It was an assassination. We want the world to see the unredacted tape. We know that the state's attorney, the DuPage, Berlin, I think that's his name, yes, he has 48 hours to have collected the evidence. And in a homicide, when you collect the evidence within 48 hours, then you can press charges. So we don't press charges on those who don't obey the law. Who's supposed to serve and protect us? These are the people that I really truly believe take an oath to serve and protect everyone. That oath is serious. The Bible says it's better not to make a vow than to make one and not keep it. So I say that when you take a vow, when you take an oath, you should see everyone as an individual. We live in America. Everyone is here. This is the land flowing of milk and honey, right? This is the land of opportunity. This is the land where so many people, as we can recently see, they want to come because they want to experience that freedom. We're just asking for the tape to be released because Isaac was sleeping. We haven't heard the 911 call. We don't even know what happened. We don't even know who made the call. We know someone the police entered his apartment without a warrant. There was nothing that was occurring on the inside of his apartment. We don't know anything. The community that we live in, they failed us. They failed to protect us. To give someone keys to come into his unit because there's a disturbance on the outside. Maybe someone called because there was some noise going on. We don't know. We don't know anything. So while we're not getting sleep, maybe you guys could wrestle tonight to understand how we feel. Maybe if it was your son, 30 years old, no children, he'll have no legacy. He doesn't have any children. So we have to continue to fight. We have to continue to speak for him. And we're just asking for humanity to step up. Just humanity to step up, to understand how it feels for someone's life to be taken. And in that video that you did see, one of the cops, I know he is torn. His words were, "Oh, fuck." He knew something went wrong. And I just ask, if you have any good in you, this is a board meeting. You guys represent us. You guys are standing here for something good. Just put the pressure on to say, why can't we just release the tape? If there's nothing to hide, release the 911 call. All the parties that were involved that played a part in the assassination of Isaac Goodloe. May he rest in peace, because until then, we will not have any peace.
Genia Reynolds.
Morning, everyone. Isaac Goodloe was an unarmed black man who was assassinated on February 3rd by the Carroll Stream police officers who entered into his apartment. Isaac's civil rights were violated, as well as his constitutional rights. We want the 911 call released. We want all the audio to be released as well. We want to know why the police officers entered the way they did, with their shields out and their guns already drawn. We want to know just everything, because we don't know anything. And we want justice for Isaac Goodloe, and we will not stop until we get justice.
Michael Hoffman. No, Michael Hoffman. Melody Miller. Pamela Seigan. Michael Hoffman.
How you doing? My name is Michael Hoffman. I live at 3 South 436 2nd Street, Warrenville. What I have here is some information that the county board members that were back here 15 years ago, because that's when this whole thing started for me, had received these. If there's any county board members here that would like to have one of these, I brought several copies with me. As far as the ladies here go, it's fairly technical, but it's readable for you. I have 4 sisters. They all read it, and they understand what I was talking about. So you might want to get one if you like. It's this here, and that's the original letter that I sent out, and I have an engineering report that R.W. Lindley had produced, and information. He had told me that he had sent it to all the proper authorities, but I never had gotten any confirmation on them receiving it. Now, whether if R.W. Lindley had gotten it or not, I'm not sure. But anyhow, it's this letter. I spent 12 weeks, 7 to 7.5 hours a day, 5 days a week in DuPage County Stormwater Management's office. I read the entire Faywell Dam file, what I got. I would leave at night, and some mornings I'd come back and there was files missing out of that file, so I obviously didn't get to see all the stuff. The good stuff probably disappeared. Because it was a sizable file. It was actually the big banker boxes that they store files in. There were 7.5 of those jammed full. And so what happened there, I don't know. So all this information is out of there. It's nothing that I produced except the front letter on it. You know, I believe it's 6 pages. And you'll find some stuff very interesting in here. Like they have the reports that were sent to the Army Corps of Engineers for the dam modification. They go back for 115 storms, historic storms. And I went to the permanent record of the USGS, and the one storm they were calling as a historic storm, the 100-year storm, it was in August 22nd, 1972. They were calling for the flood waters to be at 4,594.2 cubic foot per minute at
Mr. Hoffman,
a USGS.
you could wrap up. You're at 3 minutes.
Excuse me?
You're over 3 minutes. If you
Oh, okay. And in fact, it was flowing at 49 cubic foot per historic record, and at that point at the USGS on their permanent record. This is a letter that was an engineering report on the dam that R.W. Lindley, Ralph William Lindley, had written. And clerk, I'm requesting this to be entered into these 2 documents here to be entered into permanent record in their entirety. That way, all the county board members could read this if they like, and everybody else.
Melody Miller.
Excuse me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were finished. Melody Miller.
Hi, my name is Dee Dee Lebelardi. I'm here on behalf of Melody Miller and Pam, and we're here to speak about the issues going on in DuPage Animal Control. We're not sure if we need to address the board of a whole, or do we need to go to the committee? We have numerous things that we like to bring to light. We're here to help DuPage Animal Control get animals placed into homes versus being euthanized. We have contacted DuPage Animal Control to meet with them personally to bring apart some suggestions we have, as we are all fosters and animal activists. And we were told by both Laura and Carrie, in order to visit them, we need to bring IDs and we need to have questions presentable, which, why would we need to bring questions presentable to them prior? They should be able to think on their feet. So therefore, we chose not to go in to speak to them. But our question that we are asking is, what can we do to help? They say they have a list of 180 fosters, but yet we have dogs in urgent crisis who are being euthanized. They're not sending out emails to their fosters requesting it. Someone notified us that they believe that 90% of the people on the foster list don't even want to foster. Now, I work with 7 different rescue groups, and we have a list of over 300 fosters who are available at any given moment. I personally only take dogs who are severe behavioral issues, and I have a 7-year-old child in my home. So DCIS really needs to step up and get that information updated instead of boistering that they have all these fosters that they do not have. Another thing they need to look at is every dog that has been adopted out of DuPage Animal Control goes home with a goodie bag of trazodone, gabapentin, and Prozac. Why are all these animals medicated? Do they know that trazodone can be counter-effective? It can be, some animals and humans, you could be perfectly fine. Some, it's a reverse effect. Just like Benadryl. You can give your child Benadryl, one kid it's gonna make tired, the other one it's gonna make bounce off the walls. So these are options we need to look at, and we also need to look at getting these animals out. With all the noise and construction, it's causing the animals to go crazy. So let's ask our fosters that are on our 180 list to step up. And also, there's other rescues willing to step up. But DuPage will not work with them.
You're at 3 minutes.
Okay.
If you could wrap up.
Basically, we just want to help you. We want to get the animals out of that noise. And I'm wondering how many of the board members here have been over to the DuPage County Animal Services during the day when there's construction going on and have been there for hours to listen to the noise. And we're told it's even noisier in the parking lot where the dogs are. And a lot of their play areas and walk areas have been taken away right now temporarily because of the construction. And I know they are supposed to go out a couple of times a day, but we know that sometimes that doesn't happen. So the big reason their priority this morning is what can we do to help you get these animals away from the noise? Is there a temporary shelter we can set up? As she said, if we can get the foster list updated, maybe every animal ideally could go to foster. But if you've ever been in construction or around construction, and I think we all have at some time, the noise is just mind-boggling. You can't think, you can't concentrate, you go home stressed. And you think of animals who hear much better than we do, and they are subjected to it. And even though they're further away, you have to be miles away or blocks away not to be subjected to that kind of noise. So anything that we can do to help you with these animals, maybe with the foster list, and maybe they already do this with the foster list, but when they're updating, you have a list of people that only want maybe the rabbits and the guinea pigs, and you have the fosters who only want the cats, and you have fosters who only want the dogs, and you have fosters who will take everything, and fosters who will take dogs that are small, fosters who will take dogs that are big, fosters who have no animals in their home. And that way they can send it out when we've got 5 guinea pigs we need a foster for. Just send it to the guinea pig people. I want big dogs. We just send it to the big dog people. It's a lot easier than having people go in to the website and say, oh, I think they need fosters. But again, what can we do to help you? We have posted like crazy on Nextdoor, as you said, especially when the animals are in dire situation. In October, there were 12 animals set to be put down within a week. And we posted and we posted and we posted. We get thousands of views, 3, 4, 5,000 of views, as opposed to Facebook, which only gets 100 views maybe. And by the end of the week, either those animals, the 12 animals, were either adopted out, went to foster homes, but not one was killed. And so every time we see urgent lists, or every week almost, I come out with a flyer and I post it to Nextdoor, and we get it passed around to businesses. We post it on Facebook. So we do a lot of behind the scenes things. Yes, you see our complaints, but you also don't know all the things that we do behind the scenes. And we had Pickle Rick this last week, who was on the kill list. He had a date with death.
Miss, if you could wrap up, you're at 3
And
minutes. You're at 3 minutes, if you could wrap up, please.
am I through? Okay, thank you.
Pam Segan?
I'm Pam, and my big issue here where DCAS is concerned is the organizational aspect, and I don't mean the organization itself, I mean their ability to be organized. We see things where Facebook pages don't match up. Fosters are contacting us through our social media asking why the dogs who are on the urgent list are not posted on the foster pages. We also have issues where on February 1st, one of the dogs was listed as the perfect companion, fabulous with pets, with other dogs, with people, with children, with everything. And 8 days later, that dog was euthanized because it was a safety hazard. A dog doesn't go from being the perfect companion to somebody who is going to bite your face off in 8 days unless something traumatic happens to it. There are things that are going on. We don't understand why there isn't more fundraising being done. A lot of this has to do with available people, available staff, available volunteers. And again, this is where we're willing to help. If there is a way that we can help to prevent some of these things, if there is a way that we could help to provide more fundraising, to provide more volunteers through our social networking, we have the ability to try to attract people, and we are just asking that we be used. Thank you.
Kathleen Kirkpatrick?
Hi, my name is Kathleen Kirkpatrick, and I live in Woodridge, and I have the exact same question. I'm an animal advocate. The raccoons ran over. I'm the one trying to do CPR at 2 in the morning. That being said, there are people out here willing to help, and it appears maybe there's a lack of communication, but there is a lot of information, at least my own personal opinion. I won't say I know it all because I don't. But it says one thing one place on social media and something on the other. Case in point, specifically the one thing that just tears at my heartstrings is, again, there was a dog that was up for adoption. A trainer was going to adopt this dog, who's also a retired police officer. It's my understanding that all of a sudden the dog was vicious and put down. That police officer offered to sign a release form. So at the very least, is it not possible for DuPage Animal Control through the abundance of attorneys right here on this property to do these types of releases and work more with the community, because the impression I'm getting from everybody is they're not working with other fosters that are out there, and there are many, many, many shelters that are completely no-kill. I question myself why DuPage County isn't a no-kill shelter. I did read, and I was very happy to read, that no, I can't bring my animal in there and you won't euthanize it. But the way the state, the way everything is going in 2024, these animals they don't need to be euthanized. There are other alternatives. And I just request that there's more out there for the community to help. I saw the fundraiser. I would love to go in April, but no, I don't have $2,500 to $5,000 to put down on a ticket. And I guess I question that's the other reason. When, you know, that fundraiser that's coming up, why can't the community go to that? Now, maybe I read it wrong, and I apologize profusely if I did. If it was $100 a plate, I could afford to go. And I think it's great that you have donors out there that will take advantage of the tax write-off. But what about me and everyone else that wants to be involved in this? Obviously, the people who work in animal control are going to be having dinner there that night. But the people that are willing to take the animals in, we can't afford to go to a fundraiser like that. So I appreciate your time, and I hope you will consider my comments. Thank you.
Okay, if the board has received public comment via our online portal per board policy, those comments were provided to board members yesterday so they could be reviewed. Comments submitted electronically will be included in the minutes of this meeting. As the weather begins to warm up, I want to take note that the busy season for our stormwater management department is already underway. Most of us get to sleep through thunderstorms and heavy rain events, but the stormwater team and Sarah Hunn will be monitoring conditions this spring 24/7 as needed. Thanks to them and all of the staff who are on call as we approach severe weather season. This includes emergency management, security, public works, and transportation. We appreciate all of you to keep our campus operating and to keep people and property safe. Okay, on to the consent agenda. I seek a motion to approve the consent agenda. Okay. 240904, DuPage County Board Minutes, regular meeting, Tuesday, February 27th, 2024. 24795, 23-2024 pay list. 24820, 227-2024 pay list. 24852, 3-1-2024 pay list. 24880, 3-5-2024 pay list. 24868, 3-5-2024 auto pay list. 24883, 3-6-2024 Corbel wire transfer. 24871, change orders to various contracts as specified in the packet. 24873, County Clerk's Office Monthly Report for Receipts and Disbursement, February 2024. All in favor? Okay, and I'll call on Member Chaplin for the Finance Report.
Thank you. So, hang on a second here. I move on FIR 005124, approval of a second amendment to the grant agreement between the County of DuPage and Northern Illinois Food Bank for the use of ARPA funds.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Chaplin. Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatore. You.
Aye.
And Zay. Oh, I'm sorry, and Cahill.
Member Chaplin.
$1,047.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move on FIR 5324, additional appropriation for the ARPA fund in the amount of $500,000.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin. Oops, I'm sorry, Member Desart.
Thank you. I just had a question about, could somebody clarify this for me? So 9C is just, from the packet, it looked like it was just for IT for food pantries, and then 9D is for the round two of the infrastructure for food pantries, meaning refrigerators or trucks or whatever, but 9C is just for IT? Is that correct? And was there enough interest in the first round?
9C is the appropriation of the funds, and then 9D is the allocation to the actual program.
Excellent. Thank you, Mary.
Sure.
Okay. Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I move approval of FIR 5424, approval of additional funding for the local food pantry infrastructure investment program, the amount of $500,000.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIR 5524, budget transfers 3/12/2024, various companies and accounting unit.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIP 524, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Marsh & McLennan Agency LLC to provide assistance and valuation of the county's health and wellness benefits for human resources in the amount of $200,000, not to exceed.
Leave is granted, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FICO 824, increased purchase order issued to Ceridian HCM in the amount of $115,000.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Chaplin.
Thank you.
On to Member Krajewski and Animal Services.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of updates. One, we just finished our year, December, so we had our new numbers come in. I think our live release rate is like 92%, 91%. Some history, probably 5, 7, 8, 10 years ago, we were only about 53%, and we've worked our way up to 90-some%, which is one of the top in the country. You know, we try to educate people, but they also ask about no-kill facilities. Well, your local rescues or humane societies that we see in our community, they say yes or no if they want a dog. State statute says that we have to take in every surrender. We have some people, unfortunately, have a dog or a cat that is old, sick, and needs to be euthanized, but they don't even want to take it to their vet and pay for it, so they just release it to us. We get that animal, we have to put it down, so that counts in our numbers. In addition to, we get all the strays that are picked up in municipalities, but also if a dog or cat gets hit by a car, it gets brought to us. Unfortunately, we can't save the animal, but it has to be put down. Again, it counts against us. So we'll never be 100%, but we are one of the top in the country. With regard to our fundraising, we heard that today. There's a not-for-profit that raises money. They're the ones that put that event on. They're the ones that set that price for $250. They will have a couple other events I've heard the foundation is going to do during the year that are lower cost people can go to, but they raise that money for us. Fundraising is going very well. I think they're close to 300 tickets, so it should be a good event if you haven't got your tickets there. With regards to, just to answer one of the questions they had with the animals in the facility, unfortunately some of the animals have to be in there for medical reasons. We just had an incident in Downers Grove where they brought in 73 cats from a hoarder situation. The village of Downers Grove did a very good job. Their code enforcement helped us bring those cats in, but they need medical treatment. We can't put those out in a foster program, so we get them looked at, taken care of, and then out into either fosters, or we have probably 10 or 15 rescues that work with us that actually pull dogs and cats. So not all the cats and dogs that come into us, very few of them get adopted by us. Most of them are given out to rescues that have their own foster programs also, and then they put them up for adoption. Just to, if anybody's listening and wants to hear some comments from those public comments. But again, the foster program was 0 7 years ago, and now we have a number of people. But certain animals can't get into the foster program until our vet has cleared them. In addition to strays, when they come in, we also have to wait 7 days before we can try to find the owner and get them out. But regarding the getting the dogs and cats, or especially dogs outside, that building's being built, but all the pens are still in the back. They haven't been touched. They get out there, and in addition to, we have a really robust amount of volunteers who take animals out for walks twice a day. They come over there, so anybody wants to volunteer, they can come over and take the animals for sidewalks, but all the pens that are still out there, they haven't been disrupted by the construction. Again, April 12th, Friday night is the event. Hopefully we'll see everybody there. Raise the woof.
Raise the woof. Okay, thank you, Member Kajewski, and I'm asked to remind members to speak directly into your microphones. Okay, and now we have economic development. Nope, we don't. We have development and Member Tonatori.
I have no report, Madam Chair.
Okay, and economic development, Member LaPlante.
Thank you. No report, Madam Chair.
Okay, environment and Member Rutledge.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to give a big thank you to Nick and Ian and Jeff and all of the people that helped bring this project to hopefully switching, hitting the switch. I guess there's one little component because of supply chain we're waiting on, but very soon we'll switch those panels on and start to reap the benefits. So thank you, everybody. It was a long haul, and I appreciate your assistance all the way through.
Okay, thank you. Exciting work. And Human Services, Member Schwarzy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks to this board for approving the items on today's finance agenda and the finance agenda. Just for some dates, and I know Member DeSart mentioned this earlier, for the infrastructure grants, the portal will open on March 15th and go for 60 days. The goal hopefully is to have this on the June agenda, assuming that there's no problems to be able to vote on those grants. So, moving on to our agenda items, I'll move to approve item HSR 1024, authorizing execution of intergovernmental agreement between Pace Suburban Bus and DuPage County Community Services for paratransit service in the amount of $657,200 for fiscal year 24.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please. It's on. Oh.
Schwarzy.
Yes.
Tornatori. You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin. Childress.
Yes.
Covert.
Aye.
DeSart. Eckhoff. Evans. Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. And Rutledge.
Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on HSP 1524, awarding resolution issued to Comcast Cable Communications Management, LLC, doing business as Effect TV to provide a Call 211 of DuPage local advertising campaign for community awareness from March 12th, 24 through June 30th of 24 for a contract total amount not to exceed $130,000.
Leave is granted, Member Schwarzy. Oh, that's it. Okay, thank you. Wow, okay. Judicial and Public Safety, Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have a committee update, but I would like to move on JPSR-6-24, authorization to purchase one vehicle for the Children's Center of the DuPage County State's Attorney's Office. Contract amount not to exceed $45,000.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatori. You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin. Childress.
Yes.
Covert.
Aye.
DeSart. And Eckhoff.
Okay, thank you, Member Evans. And Legislative and Member DeSart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In Springfield, both chambers returned to Springfield today. The House is scheduled for 3 session days, and the Senate is scheduled for 4 session days. So we'll probably have a better update in 2 weeks when we meet. In Washington, the House is tackling H.R. 6276, utilizing space efficiency and Improving Technologies Act of 2023. Our thanks to Bill Viney for that update. From our lobbyist, Greg Bales, he says that last week the House and Senate approved 6 of the FY24 appropriation bills. From DuPage County, all members of the House delegation voted yay. In the Senate, both Senators Duckworth and Durbin voted yay. Excuse me, and on Saturday, that legislation was signed into law by the President. The great news for DuPage County, notably $1 million for Naperville Road and IL-38, Roosevelt, the intersection there for the improvement project. On to the agenda item. I just want to say that this committee worked really hard and were really dedicated, as well as other board members who attended on this legislative agenda. So thank you for all of your dedication to the committee, for working and reworking this agenda to best represent our constituents in DuPage County. Specifically, I'd like to thank Member Yu and Member Galassi for just working so hard with us on this legislative agenda. And with that, I move to approve LEGR 0002-24, the resolution adopting the county's 2024 federal legislative program.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Desart.
Aye.
Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatori. Yu.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin. Childress. And Covert.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Member Chaplin. And on to Public Works and Member Garcia.
Thank you, Chair Conroy. I have no committee update today. I would like to make a motion to move on PWR 0002-24, declaration of the Highland Hills Sanitary District property as surplus real estate.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatori. Yu.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin. Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
And Galassi.
Okay, Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to move on PWO 0001-24, acceptance of the substantive and technical changes to Chapter 36 of the DuPage County Water Supply Distribution and Wastewater Treatment Ordinance.
We need a roll call here.
Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatori. Yu.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin. Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
And Galassi.
Okay, Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve PWP 0006-24. This is for a recommendation for the approval of a contract to Sheffield Safety and Loss Control LLC for safety program manager services for the period of April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2025 for a total contract not to exceed $100,000.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve PWP 0007-24, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Alpha Laval, Inc. to provide repair parts for the Ashbrook gravity belt thickeners and belt presses at the Woodridge Green Valley Wastewater Treatment Plant and the Knollwood Wastewater Treatment Plant for Public Works for the period of May 1st, 2024 to April 28th, 2028 for a total contract amount not to exceed $80,000.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve PWCO 0002-24, an amendment to the county contract 6571001 issued to Fox Valley Fire and Safety Company, Inc. to repair the fire alarm system and notifier panel at the Woodridge Green Valley Wastewater Treatment Plant for Public Works for a change order to increase the contract in the amount of $20,000.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve FMR 0001-24, resolution to approve a notice of intent to participate in the coalition by Kane County, Illinois for the county for the Climate Pollution Reduction Grant Implementation Application and Leave.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve FMP 0001-24, 0010-24, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Cintas Corporation Number 2 to provide and deliver employee uniforms as needed for facilities management for the period of March 13th, 2024 through March 12th, 2025 for a total contract amount not to exceed $50,000.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve FMP 0011-24, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Hay and Associates, Inc. for natural areas management, which includes controlled burning and weeding for the native gardens on the county campus for facilities management for the period of March 12, 2024 through March 11, 2025 for a total contract amount not to exceed $36,500.
We'll need a roll call, please.
Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatori. You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin. Childress. Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
And Galassi.
Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve FMP 001224, a recommendation for the approval of a contract to A&P Grease Trappers, Inc. for sanitary grease trap and storm basin pumping, jetting, and cleaning as needed for the county campus for facilities management for the period of April 14, 2024 through April 13, 2025, for a total contract amount not to exceed $82,750.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Garcia. And Member Zay, and stormwater report, please.
Morning, Madam Chair. Move on SMP 624, approval of contract issued to Wang Engineering for on-call geotechnical and engineering services for stormwater management, the amount not to exceed $40,000.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
How's that? Better?
Zay.
Aye.
Cahill. Chaplin. Childress. Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatori. And you.
Aye. Member Zay.
I don't know, you're the oldest here, it's kind of a conspiracy. Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on 24-771, intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the City of Warrenville for cost-share additional work related to West Branch River restoration, hydraulic improvements, the amount not to exceed $25,000.
Leave is granted. Member Zay. Okay, that's it for Member Zay. All right, thank you. Okay, on to technology and Member Yu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to start by just having two mentions of gratitude. I want to thank Joe Hamlin and his team for our boardroom redesign with the technological, with the rewiring, and also he redid the sound so that we can actually hear our public comment now, which I personally appreciate. And then second, I want to mention about a first of its kind operation that the IT department did with the Secret Service Office and the state's attorney's office on a domain seizure project that our IT department worked on months ago, where we targeted a crypto scam known as pig butchering with 352 unique fraudulent domains. So the IT department's network and web services teams were asked to host a website with a splash page for just 90 days to redirect victims of crime to the Secret Service for help. And within the 90 days, about 18,000 people were redirected from fraudulent domains, and 352 domains used to defraud our citizens were seized and taken down. So thank you again to Debbie DC and her web team, and Joe Hamlin for his network support group. Thank you. And with that, I move on TEP 000624, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Toshiba Business Solutions for multifunctional device equipment supplies, software, and service solutions for all county departments for the period of April 1, 2024 through March 31, 2029 for a total amount not to exceed $1.5 million.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin. Childress.
Yes.
Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. And Tornatori.
Member Yu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And lastly, I move on TEP 7-24, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Insight Public Sector for the replacement of backup appliances and annual maintenance and support of Veritas Net Backup Software for IT for the period of April 1, 2024 through March 31, 2026 for a contract total amount of $374,718. Sorry, let me start again. $374,718.84.
Okay.
I think we already did that.
Okay, leave is granted. Thank you, Member Yu.
Thank you.
Okay, transportation and Member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for approval of DTR 000924, adoption of a resolution stating the county's stance on the complete streets design criteria for the improvements at the intersection of Illinois Route 53 and 75th Street.
Do we have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Ozog.
Yes.
Rutledge.
Yes.
Schwarzy. Tornatori.
Aye.
You.
Aye.
Zay.
Aye.
Cahill. Chaplin. Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston. Krajewski. And LaPlante.
Okay, Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTR 001024, intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the City of Wheaton for improvements of the city-owned property adjoining the DuPage County Government Campus. No county cost.
Okay, we're going to need a roll call, please.
Ozog.
Yes.
Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatori. You.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin. Childress. Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston. Krajewski. And LaPlante.
Okay, Member Ozog.
Just a quick note on the item that we've just passed. This is related to the almost $600,000 grant that the clerk's office has received for the county to pave the northern part of the lot. And so we've now paved from Manchester Road, or the area by Manchester Road buildings, all the way forward. And this is going to make a big improvement on the fairgrounds, and especially with early voting going on. So I want to thank the clerk's office. Going forward, I move for approval of DTR 001124, intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and Addison Township Road District for the Addison Township 2024 Road Maintenance Program, no county cost.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTR 001224, joint funding agreement for construction work between the County of DuPage and the Illinois Department of Transportation for County Highway 3 Warrenville Road over the east branch of the DuPage River. Estimated county cost $1,507,432.00.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 001524, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to A1 Warren Oil Company to furnish and deliver gasoline and diesel fuel as needed for the Division of Transportation and Public Works for the period April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025, for a contract total not to exceed $1,750,000 per renewal option under first of 3 renewals.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 001624, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Standard Equipment Company to furnish and deliver one 2024 International Vector Chassis sewer cleaner for the Division of Transportation for the period of March 5th, 2024 through November 30th, 2024 for a contract total not to exceed $599,660, contract pursuant to Intergovernmental Cooperation Act.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 001724, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Stanley Consultants Incorporated to provide professional construction engineering services for County Highway 3 Warrenville Road over the east branch of the DuPage River for the Division of Transportation for the period of March 12, 2024 through November 30th, 2025 for a contract total not to exceed $801,990. Professional services vetted through a qualification-based selection process.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 001824, recommendation for the approval of a contract to HDR Engineering Incorporated for professional concept development engineering services for the County Highway 11 Army Trail Road at Munger intersection improvements for the period March 12, 2024 through November 30th, 2025 for a contract total not to exceed $171,926.78, professional services vetted through a qualification-based selection process.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
And finally, and also all of these contracts are a sign of spring, so I hope everyone appreciates that, I move for approval of 240815, An amendment to Resolution DTR 0178A21, intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the Village of Lisle for improvements along County Highway Warrenville Road and the replacement of the bridge over the east branch of the DuPage River to correct a Scrivener's error, county to be reimbursed $414,000.238. Thank you.
Thank you. Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Ozog.
Okay.
Okay, discussion on pension obligation. Seeing none. Old business. Do any members have any old business they'd like to discuss? Okay. New business? Okay. Okay, I'm informed we do not have matters before us requiring executive session. Members A motioned to adjourn the meeting. All in favor? This meeting is adjourned till Tuesday, March 26, 2024 at 10 a.m.